Your personal item is the most powerful weapon against the airline industry's $5.5 billion baggage fee machine, and most people have never thought about it that way. What if I told you that machine pulled in close to $5.5 billion in baggage fee revenue last year alone, and the single most powerful move to stop feeding it has been sitting in plain sight, known by every ultralight traveler and one-bag veteran who has ever walked past a baggage carousel without stopping? The airlines don't want you to know this, but every major carrier in the country gives you one bag completely free every single time, including basic economy fares, no upcharge, nothing. That bag is your personal item, and the people who actually know how to travel, the ones who have been circling the globe for years with nothing but a backpack under the seat, they've been fitting a full 7-day trip into that single free bag, while the rest of us hand over $45 each way for checked luggage we don't even need. Here's what most people miss. This isn't about suffering through a week in 2 outfits. This is a system, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. We're going to walk through 7 specific tactics that make the whole thing work, including a fabric choice at number 3 that eliminates the need to do laundry for an entire trip, and a single packing move at number 1 that veteran one-baggers call the foundation of everything, the reason nothing else works without it. These aren't cute suggestions. These are the exact techniques that separate someone who travels light from someone who travels free. Hit that subscribe button, because every week we post videos that tear apart the things the travel industry charges you for and show you exactly how to stop paying. Here are 7 packing tactics that will liberate you from baggage fees forever. Ranked from clever to absolutely non-negotiable. Number 7. The right bag. The underseat weapon the airlines already approved for you. This is where most people fail before they even start packing. They grab whatever backpack is in the closet, stuff it full, show up at the gate, and get hit with a $100 gate check fee because the bag doesn't fit the metal sizer. Frontier charges $100 at the gate for a non-compliant bag. Spirit and Allegiant are in the same ballpark. That's more than most base fares on a budget route. The whole system falls apart if you start with the wrong container. Here's what the one-bag community has figured out that casual travelers haven't. The R1Bag subreddit has been talking about this for years, and the core lesson is always the same. Personal item dimensions vary by airline, and the spread matters. American and Delta both allow 18 by 14 by 8 inches and enforce it the most leniently. United squeezes you down to 17 by 10 by 9. Alaska cuts depth to just 6 inches. You need a bag that threads the needle across all of them, and there are bags engineered to do exactly that. The BagSmart Pharaoh packs 29 liters into a frame that measures 17.4 by 11.4 by 7.5 inches. Bags from Tortuga, the Osprey Farpoint, and Patagonia's Black Hole line are built around similar personal item compliant specs. That fits every major carrier's sizer, including United's narrow box. Every veteran traveler who has done this knows it. The bag is the foundation. Here's how to actually use it. Before you buy anything, check the personal item dimensions for the airlines you fly most. Then, pick a bag with structured but soft sides that can compress into the sizer when needed. Soft-sided bags used to get leeway because they could squeeze down. That grace period ended. Airlines are measuring personal items with the same rigor as carry-ons now. If it doesn't fit the metal frame, it gets checked, and you pay. The reason most people get this wrong is they think a personal item is just whatever small bag they own. It's not. It's a spec-compliant tool, and treating it like one is probably the difference between flying free and handing over $70 round trip that you didn't need to spend. Number 6. The Capsule Wardrobe Formula. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 system that has been saving minimalist travelers from overpacking for years. The biggest lie in packing is that you need a different outfit for every day. You don't. What you need is a system where every piece works with every other piece, and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method is that system. The internet tends to agree that 10 items, 8 pieces of clothing, and 2 pairs of shoes is the right number for a travel capsule wardrobe. It sounds restrictive. It's completely possible. Here's how to actually use it. Start with 2 bottoms, 1 pair of lightweight pants, and 1 pair of shorts or a skirt. Layer in 4 tops, 2 neutral tees, 1 button-up that doubles as your dressier option, and 1 long-sleeve lightweight shirt for sun protection. Add 1 layering piece, a packable jacket or lightweight fleece. 7 underwear, 3 to 4 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of shoes, and here's the key: you wear the bulkiest pair and pack 1 flat pair. The testing backs this up. Seasoned minimalist travelers pack just 8 to 10 clothing items for trips lasting 2 to 4 weeks, not 7 days, weeks. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 formula gives you a solid starting point that you adjust based on your destination and plans. Why does this get overlooked? Because of what the one-bag community calls the just-in-case trap. You pack extra outfits for scenarios that never happen instead of the vacation you actually planned. Most trips follow a predictable rhythm. You don't need a different shirt for every possible dinner. You need 5 tops that all look good with 2 bottoms. That math is probably already working in your own closet right now if you stop and think about it. Number 5. Solid toiletries. The TSA loophole that has been hiding in plain sight for years. The 3-1-1 rule is the single biggest space thief inside your personal item. 3.4-ounce bottles, 1 quart-sized bag, 1 per passenger. That quart bag eats prime real estate inside a small pack, and most of what's in it doesn't need to be liquid in the first place. Every traveler who has cracked this code knows it. Solid shampoo bars, solid conditioner bars, toothpaste tablets, solid deodorant sticks, solid soap, solid sunscreen sticks, solid lotion bars, even solid perfume. None of them count toward the TSA liquid limit. None of them need to be in 3.4-ounce bottles. None of them need to go in that quart-sized bag. They don't leak, they weigh less, and they last longer. A single solid shampoo bar lasts for up to 80 washes. That's not a week, that's months. You eliminate the need for liquid shampoo entirely. Here's how to actually use it. Replace every liquid in your quart bag with a solid alternative. Shampoo bar, conditioner bar, toothpaste tablets, solid deodorant, solid sunscreen stick. Store them in a small waterproof pouch. You just freed up an entire quart bag's worth of space and eliminated the risk of a shampoo explosion inside the one bag you're living out of for a week. The reason this gets overlooked is that most people pack on autopilot. They've been putting the same travel-sized liquids in the same quart bag for years without asking whether any of it needs to be liquid at all. It doesn't. And the space you reclaim is probably the difference between a cramped bag and a bag that closes easily. Number 4. Compression packing cubes. The engineered squeeze that turns a personal item into something that feels twice its size. If you're starting to see the pattern, if you're realizing that flying free for an entire week isn't about deprivation, but about knowing what the airlines and the luggage industry would rather you keep buying around, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps this reach people who refuse to pay $70 round trip for a bag they don't need. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you belong here. Compression packing cubes are not regular packing cubes. Regular cubes organize. Compression cubes organize and then eliminate dead air with a second zipper that squeezes the contents down flat. The numbers don't lie. Compression packing cubes reduce clothing volume by up to 60%, and depending on fabric type, you're realistically looking at 30 to 60% compression. That's not marginal. That's taking a week's worth of clothes and cutting them down to less than half the space. Brands like Peak Design and Eagle Creek have built their travel cube lines specifically around this principle. And the difference between their compression models and a standard cube is immediately obvious the first time you use one. Here's how to actually use it. Most people just stuff clothes in and zip. There's a better way that gets you 30 to 50% more compression. Use the fit-to-fold method. Lay the cube open on a flat surface. Take one piece of clothing at a time, lay it over the cube, and fold it to match the cube's exact shape. Fill to about 80% capacity. Zip the main compartment fully. Lay the cube flat and press gently to release air. Then zip the compression zipper around the edge to tighten everything down. Layer heaviest items first. Fill corners and edges completely. 2 to 3 compression cubes will compartmentalize your entire wardrobe inside a personal item and give you structure that makes living out of the bag for 7 days feel organized instead of chaotic. The reason most travelers skip this is they tried regular packing cubes once, saw no real space savings, and assumed all cubes are the same. Compression cubes are a different tool entirely, and the difference is probably sitting between you fitting 7 days in your bag or giving up and buying a carry-on. Number 3. Merino wool everything. The antimicrobial fabric that has been keeping ultralight travelers odor-free for decades. This is the one that separates people who pack light from people who pack smart. Cotton absorbs sweat, holds moisture, breeds bacteria, and smells terrible after one hard day. Merino wool does the opposite. It chemically reacts with odor-causing bacteria from sweat. There's nowhere for bacteria to fester because the fiber doesn't hold moisture. The reaction contains the bacteria in the core of the fiber and neutralizes the odor, which only releases when you wash it. Every ultralight traveler who has tested this fabric knows it. Thanks to that natural odor resistance, you can wear merino clothes many times before you need to wash them. Unless you get them visibly dirty or stained, they stay fresh for the length of most trips. That means your 3 to 4 tops from the Capsule Wardrobe formula aren't wearing out their welcome by day 3. They're rotating through a full week without anyone around you knowing you've been living out of a single bag under the seat. Here's how to actually use it. Replace your cotton tees and base layers with merino wool equivalents. Brands like Woolen Prince, Icebreaker, and Smartwool have become the go-to options in the one-bag community, specifically because their travel cuts are lightweight enough to pack flat and durable enough to survive trip after trip. Prioritize the items closest to your skin, the ones that would normally get rank fastest. Merino is also naturally lightweight and works as active wear and travel clothing simultaneously. It keeps you cooler in summer and warmer in winter than cotton. You reduce the total number of garments you need because each piece earns more wears between washes. The reason this gets overlooked is price. Merino costs more upfront than cotton. But when one merino tee does the work of 3 cotton tees on a trip, the math flips. And that math is probably the reason your bag is too full right now. Number 2. The mid-trip laundry kit. The 3-ounce system that has been turning one bag into an infinite wardrobe for years. This is the unlock that makes the entire capsule wardrobe work beyond 3 or 4 days. Smart travelers plan to wash clothes during the trip, and this is not nearly as hard as it sounds if you carry the right tools. The whole kit weighs almost nothing and takes up less space than a pair of socks. Here's what goes in. Laundry detergent sheets, which weigh practically 0 and can be used in a machine or a sink. A travel clothesline for drying overnight. And a small microfiber towel for the towel roll method, where you roll a wet garment inside the towel and press to extract moisture before hanging. That's the entire kit. The pros who do this every trip confirm it works. You wash in a hotel sink or bathroom, hang on the shower rod or clothesline, and everything made from quick-dry fabrics is ready by morning. Here's how to actually use it. On night 3 or 4, wash your most worn items in the sink with a single laundry sheet. Roll them in the microfiber towel to press out water. Hang them on the travel clothesline or shower rod. Quick dry and merino fabrics dry overnight. If something still isn't fully dry in the morning, the old army trick works. Put it on anyway. Your body heat finishes the job in under an hour. A laundromat costs $2 to $4 a load. Hotel laundry runs $3 to $6 per shirt. The sink method costs you a single laundry sheet and 40 seconds of effort. The reason this gets overlooked is the assumption that doing laundry on vacation is miserable. It's not. It's 40 seconds in a sink, and it's the reason you're not paying $45 each way for a checked bag. That trade-off is probably sitting in your future travel plans right now, waiting for you to make the switch. Number 1. Wear your bulkiest items on the plane. The zero-cost, zero-space move that veteran one-baggers consider the foundation of everything. This is the single most impactful packing decision you will ever make, and it costs you nothing, takes up no bag space, and has been the first rule of one-bag travel since before the airline started charging for luggage in 2008. Every one-bag traveler who has ever made this work will tell you the same thing. This is where it all starts. Your heaviest jacket, your bulkiest shoes, your thickest pants. None of them go in the bag. They go on your body. You board the plane wearing your boots or sneakers, your jeans or heavyweight pants, your layering piece, and any bulky sweater or hoodie. That frees up the largest single chunk of space inside your personal item, space that now holds your lighter packed shoes, your rolled tees, your compression cubes full of everything else. The numbers don't lie. A pair of sneakers alone can take up a quarter of a 29-liter pack. A jacket takes another 15 to 20%. By wearing them, you reclaim nearly half your bag's total volume instantly. Here's how to actually use it. The night before your flight, lay out the outfit you'll board in. Pick the heaviest, bulkiest combination you packed. Shoes, bottoms, layering piece, jacket. That's your flight outfit. Everything remaining goes in the bag. This is also why the capsule wardrobe matters so much. When you only have 2 bottoms and 1 layering piece, you're already wearing half your wardrobe onto the plane. The reason this gets overlooked is that people plan their airport outfit for comfort or style, not for strategy. But this move is the reason everything else on this list works. Without it, the compression cubes don't save enough space, the capsule wardrobe still won't fit, and the whole system breaks. This is probably the one change you can make before your very next flight that saves you $70 round trip without buying a single new product. If you made it all the way to the end, you've just learned something most people never will. You now know the exact 7-part system that ultralight travelers have used for years to fit a full week into a single free bag while everyone else hands the airline industry another $45 each way. Smash that like button if this changed how you think about packing. Drop a comment and tell me which one surprised you most. Team Merino wool? Team solid toiletries? Team compression cubes? I read every comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. I'd love to have you on this journey with us. Remember, sometimes the best packing hack isn't in some expensive new suitcase or a fancy overhead bin. Sometimes it's in the free bag under the seat, waiting for you to pack it right.